Good morning and welcome to this arithmetic problem. The key to this problem is to recognize that if you're multiplying and get a positive number, the numbers had to have the same signs, and that you add numbers with the same signs by adding the absolute values and keeping the sign. And to recognize that if you multiply to get a negative number, they had different signs, and so you're going to subtract the absolute values. That's how you add different signs, is you subtract the absolute value and keep the sign of the greater absolute value. For example, one way to multiply and get 45 is 15 times 3. And if I want to get a negative 18, because they're the same signs, I'm going to add and keep the signs. So to get a negative 18, that'd have to be a negative 15 and a negative 3. To get negative 24, one way to do it is negative 12 times 2 or negative 2 times 12, either one of those. And if I want to add to get a positive 10, I'm going to have to use that one, keep the sign of the greater number, subtract and keep the sign of the greater number. Let's look at another example. This problem here, it says to multiply to get 21, which is positive, so they have the same signs. I'm going to add to get 10. And since they have the same signs, I'm going to add the absolute values and keep the signs. Here's the hard part. If you're good at arithmetic, this is easy. If you're not, you're going to need a calculator. 21 divided by 1 is 21. 21 divided by 2 doesn't come out even. 21 divided by 3, 21 divided by 4, by 5, by 6, by 7, and you can see you're repeating yourself. So those are my two choices, and which one of those can add to give me 10? Well, it's 7 and 3, and since it's a positive 10, they're both going to be positive. And no, it doesn't matter which one you put first. So submit the answers. And we get check mark, same signs, check mark, add and keep the absolute values, and a check mark, 7 and 3. Let's try another one. Okay. This one says to multiply to get negative 14. Which means they're going to have different signs. So I'm going to subtract the absolute values. All that means is without the signs. And keep the sign of the greater absolute value. Well, how can you multiply to get 14? Well, 14 times 1. Get your calculator out. 7 times 2. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 doesn't go into it. 5 doesn't go into it. 6 doesn't go. 7 times 2. So, okay, I'm repeating. Those are my two choices. Now, which one of those can I subtract to get a 5, to get a negative 5? Well, 7 and 2, if I make the 7 negative, because I have to have the greater sign. So because it's negative, they have different signs. And because they have different signs, we're going to subtract the absolute values. And to get a negative 5, the answers are negative 7 and 2. And you can see I have 3 check marks. One there, one there. Let's try one more version. Okay. I have to multiply to get negative 30, which means they have different signs. And so I'm going to subtract the absolute values and keep the sign of the greater to get 1. Okay, if you know it already, great. If not, 30 divided by 1, 30 divided by 2, 30 divided by 3. Get your calculator. 30 divided by 4, doesn't come out even. 30 divided by 5 is 6. And you can see if I do 6, I'm fixing to get 5, so I'm repeating. Those are my 4 choices. Which one of those can I subtract to get a 1? Well, the 6 and the 5. If I have to have a positive 1 and they have different signs, that means the 6 has to be positive and the 5 has to be negative. And we don't put a plus sign for positive, we just enter the number. So my answers are 6, comma, negative 5. And you'll see I have different signs because it was negative. So I subtract to get the sign of the greater number. And I have 3 check marks. Check, check, check. Good luck, and I hope you all do well.